You know what sound that is, folks? You bet. It's another noon whistle. I'm Chris Trottier.
And I'm John Anzalone, and we're here today with Continental Plastic CEO Becky Wolf. Thanks for joining us, Becky.
Hi, thanks for having me.
In case you guys didn't know, Chris, in case you didn't know, because I bet Becky knows, Continental Plastics located in Delvin, Wisconsin.
Oh.
Yep.
Is
Circus
Becky
Town,
also,
USA.
Yeah, there you go. Becky's also a 95 graduate of Delvin High School. She was a Comet.
I
All
was. Yep.
She's got all kinds of Wisconsin ties, because I heard something about she was got her master's at Marquette. Is that true?
I did. I did my master's at the Marquette School of Business, and I was fortunate enough to be one of the first graduates to have the international MBA. They had just started it the years that I graduated. So being an international business, Continental Plastic, I knew that it would be very important for me to have that background. So yeah, I got to travel quite a bit when I was at Marquette. So excellent experience.
Exciting. Well, that kind of leads us into Continental Plastics and your role, and what does Continental Plastics do?
Yeah, so, well, we have something to do with plastic, hence it's in our name. Continental, you kind of get the global view there of what it is that we do. But really, what we make are products for the artificial insemination of livestock. So I like to say we come before the egg.
All right. Not what I would have got, not where I was going with it, but yeah, that's really interesting, because we talked 15 minutes before and I was thinking, I don't know, Tupperware or something like that.
Yeah, right. Why not? No, but yeah, so our customers are all livestock customers. Well, the majority of them are livestock customers. We do have some safety that we do, but in the essence of what we make is we extrude plastic tubes and film. So the tubes, you can imagine artificial insemination. I'll stop right there. And the plastic film that we extrude is for stamping out single-use disposable gloves and boots, cover boots. So it's just not like an actual boot that you would wear outside. It's just a plastic cover to go over your boot. And that's for biosecurity. And the plastic gloves go all the way up to your shoulder, and I will let your imagination run as to why it needs to be that long.
Yeah. So who's your customers?
Our customers mostly are the breeding studs in the bovine industries. A lot of our customers are in dairy. So you'll probably be familiar with ABS if you're driving up to the Wisconsin Dells. They're that farm.
On it, right?
They've got that fun sign with something silly on there. Yeah, so they're one of our bigger customers, the genetics customers. We also have Genex and Alta. They're in Wisconsin. Select Sires, CMEX in Canada. So our customers are all over. And then we do a lot of business also with turkey, poultry as well, not just in the cattle side of things. So Pilgrim's Pride, Tyson, you'll recognize. So okay. A lot of those are our customers too.
Are those smaller gloves?
John, go ahead.
Are the poultry gloves smaller?
They don't use gloves for poultry, but I'll tell you that the tubes are a bit smaller. So for the cattle, they're probably about this big. For the turkeys, they're about that big.
Okay.
Yeah, John and I were about to raise our hand and ask, what's bovine? So
cattle, yeah. If you are really interested, just go on Google and look up dirty jobs. Micro, yep. Our products are featured on there, and our customers are featured on there.
Oh.
So, yep.
So Becky, tell us a little bit about the beginning of Continental Plastics. Sure. I mean, I read about it. I went and did my research, and I want to give a little quick shout out to Wasita and Lisa Pavette for connecting us on the Noon Whistle. We're always looking to market and tell the story of local companies in Walworth County and beyond. But I saw that you guys are a family business. You want to give us a little history behind Continental Plastics and, who was CEO prior to you and how you made a family business?
Absolutely. So before we were Continental Plastic, we were Continental Engineering. So Continental Engineering was started by Ray and Ella Alter. So they were a couple that came over from Europe, kind of looking for the American dream. Got into plastics for whatever reason, and Ray pretty much was making anything and everything he could. He did some injection molding, and of course some profile extrusion that's making the tubes that we make now. So just trying to figure out what it is that he could, make a buck at. One of the funny stories that they tell me is that I believe it's in California where the hula hoop was made. So we're talking in the 50s. Okay. There was an issue where there was a hula hoop shortage. Well, he had a profile extruder, so he made hula hoops in Darien, Wisconsin.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was one of the early products of Continental, is we got into the hula hoop business. But really, where we got our stronghold was in artificial insemination and in the cattle. So Ray and Ella were selling into a company by the name of Curtis Candy Company, Curtis Breeding Services specifically, in Cary, Illinois. So you'll recognize the name of Butterfinger and Baby Ruth candy bars. So Curtis Candy Company was they were the developers, the originators of those two candy bars. So if you can imagine, you have milk chocolate, right? So what do you need to make milk chocolate? You need milk. So Curtis Breeding Services, they were one of the innovators in artificial insemination. So they were purchasing tubes from Ray and Ella from Continental. And one of their employees was Elton Feffer. So my father was very interested in what it was that they were doing, and started working with them on product development. So my father grew up and originally lived in Cary, Illinois. So after he was done working at Curtis, he would then drive up to Wisconsin each night and put in another 6 hours working with Ray on product development for artificial insemination products.
Wow.
So not only in cattle, but also in poultry as well.
So
I do have to admit, I was wondering where you were going from Butterfinger and Mars to artificial insemination.
Yeah.
I knew there was
there's a connection,
and I had no idea where that was going.
So well, most people, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
So is your process highly automated, or how many employees do you have?
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now we have about 90 employees. We run 5 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Wow.
So our products are quite unique. Our equipment is quite unique in that our secondary process. So like I said, we make the tubes and the film to make our products. So then we have our secondary process. No one else really does what we do. It's very unique. It's a very niche market. So all of our equipment is designed and built in-house, our secondary equipment. So everything that forms the end of the tubes, it puts something in it, puts a cap on it, or stamps out the gloves or the boots. All of those machines are designed and built in-house. So Ray, his son, Dick, eventually Dick and Elton bought the business from Ray and Ella Alter. That was in 1971. So Dick has been our engineer. So he was the one that developed all of the secondary product from the beginning, or secondary machinery from the beginning.
So now, and your dad then, did you say he took over? He was part of the business being purchased in 71, that date, or?
Yep. Yeah. So Ray and Ella decided they wanted to get out of the business and asked Elton if he would purchase the company from them along with their son, Dick. So the two of them ran the business together for about 43 years.
And then when did you take over as CEO?
So I came on board in December of 2007. So then I learned the business side by side with my dad. It's also when Dick retired from the business, but he stayed on and he's still around and he still helped us quite a bit. Wow. I took over running the business in 2015. So I've been.
Go ahead. Yeah. And you've been serving as CEO since then, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Now, before the show, we were doing our pre-show, which is pretty intense and fun. And you were talking about you started the warm-up. You started talking a little bit about your undergrad, which was Alverno, and you kind of were digging into how you were graded there. And then you went on to get your master's of business, international business at Marquette. Can you talk a little bit about Alverno? I just think that's kind of a unique thing to share with the viewers.
Absolutely. So looking for, growing in Delavan, looking for some opportunities. What did I want to do? I always knew that I wanted to run Continental Plastic. So I was looking for a program that had, a business school, but I also dabbled in dance. So looking for, schools that had both of those opportunities. Yeah. So that's kind of where I led at Alverno, and that was really what attracted me there. But what made me stay was their philosophy of learning. It's very different than your traditional school, and it's certainly not for everyone. First off, it's a women's college, and it still is a women's college.
John, you're out.
Yep. Sorry, guys. They do have now a graduate program, and men are allowed in their graduate program.
There's a chance.
There's a chance you could still be an Alverno grad. But what makes them even more unique is their abilities-based grading. Grading really isn't a fair word, but you have to be able to demonstrate, I believe it's about 8 abilities in order to graduate from the school. And there's, I want to say it's 4 levels of each ability. You start at a basic level and then you work your way up throughout your career. Mathematics was also an area that I emphasized on. And boy, wrapping my head around, how do I show global citizenship in mathematics? So that was something, but they did. They really helped you to understand how all of these different courses that you are taking, how do you incorporate communication, global citizenship, self-awareness, and all of these abilities. How do you show that you have actually learned it? So it's not just taking a test and regurgitating what the teacher says. You really have to demonstrate it in everything that you do. So, and that really worked well with Ket because the graduate program was structured very similar.
That's super cool. So as we got about 4 minutes left. What's the future looking like for Continental Plastics? Any up and coming new trends or any expansion, or is it status quo? Give us a little insight into where you're moving the company.
Yeah, the insider secrets, right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, live.
Yeah, live. So 52 years in business. So at our 50-year anniversary, unfortunately, that happened during COVID, so it couldn't be as grand of a celebration as we really hoped so. But we really were emphasizing, it's like, okay, it's 50 years in business. I'm taking over the business. What's next? What do we next? So looking at our marketing and our brand and say, you know what, it's time. So coming out in 2024 on our anniversary, we're going to be launching a new website and a new brand, a new image for Continental Plastic. And that's really going to center around some new strategic planning that we've been doing, taking a look at our goals, and just the core of who we are, and really starting to focus on that and building our brand.
That's awesome. Well, make sure that when you're ready to launch that, you come back on the Noon Whistle and tell everybody about it.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I have one quick question for you before we head into the end.
Yeah.
So what qualities are you looking for in employees?
Good question.
Your top 3.
Top 3 qualities: honesty, integrity, hardworking. Just looking for someone that's interested, wants to show up, wants to make a difference, and is looking to grow.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. And that kind of mirrors, I looked online, that mirrors Continental Plastics values, correct? You have your 4 core values.
Absolutely.
I think determination was the other one. Is that correct?
Yep. Integrity, fairness, determination, and pride. So,
awesome. Awesome.
And I kind of look at that as the golden rule. So
now someone might say, well, what about skill what about skills? Is that hey, we can teach you the skills if you carry these other qualities, or how do you come up with that?
Absolutely. You'd mentioned Wasita, so we also partner with Way. If employees need training, we will send them off for training. We have leadership training. We have industrial maintenance training. And we've also had a few students connected them up to get their GED.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, before we go into thank yous, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of our loyal viewers. Chris Clapper over at the Elkhorn Chamber and Emma Scaro at Kairos in Motion, who liked everything you had to say, Becky. And we got a comment on the screen from Mrs. Jen Lee, just saying, great job, Becky, very interesting. So we appreciate you coming on. And as we move towards the end of another Noon Whistle, let's do some thank yous and shout out. We'll start off with you, Becky. Who do you want to thank?
Well, I have to thank the employees. I would not be here with them. They are certainly the core of Continental Plastic and everything we do. I can be as great as I want to be and have all the interesting background and experiences, but with them, I doesn't make sense for me to be here. So thank you to the employees for all their hard work.
John?
I'm going to shout out to all the educators, staff, administrative staff, everybody in all the schools that are heading back for another exciting year. Let's go.
And I'm going to thank Mr. Jason Tadlock. I have a 9-year-old son who's in the Elkhorn Youth Football, and we had our jamboree on Saturday. And you don't see many superintendents who also serve as the commissioner on the youth football program, and he was there from 5:30 to about 6:30. So thank you for all you do, Jason, for the Elkhorn community. Thank you for a late shout out from Carla Bachholt. We appreciate all our loyal listeners. And on that note, thank you, Becky, for attending the Noon Whistle.
Yeah, I appreciate the invitation. It was great chatting with you guys. On that
note, we want everybody to go back, so let's trigger the Noon Whistle horn. Thank you very much, everybody.